Hey guys, welcome back to Salt and Pepper Gaming.
Hey, today we're going to be comparing all three consoles, the Xbox, the PS5, and Nintendo Switch, and help you decide which console is right for you.
Let's go.
Well, one of our subscribers has reached out to us asking us to make a video where we compare all the specs, the accessories, and all the games for all three consoles and help them decide what's best for them and their family.
So to help you decide which console to get, we've broken it down to 5 categories. The first one is price and availability. So the current Xbox has the Xbox One S, which is just the digital only, which sits at about $500 in our country, and obviously the Xbox One X, which sits at $750, which obviously is the disc version of the system. And then the PlayStation 5 has a digital only, which sits at, I always forget how much. $600. And the PS5 for disc version sits at $750. Both the Xbox and the PS5 at this state in our country isn't in stock. So that's a negative here.
Well, they're all coming out slowly, drims and drabs.
Yeah.
It's very hard to
if you're
find.
quick to get them online.
Yeah.
If you've got to beat all the scalpers, that gets it first. But that's another story on itself. And obviously the Nintendo Switch, there's a few different versions. You got the Lite, you got the normal version, and the OLED version. Currently all of these are in stock at most stores, which is good. They all sit at different ranges. I think the Switch Lite is at $329. The standard I think sits at $429. And the OLED is at $540, depending on sales and where you're getting it from. So that's in a category when it comes to price and availability. Obviously, you can't be getting it if it's not in stock. So that's another reason why you might have to lean towards a different console for now until you get some in stock. So the next category is the specs of each system. That might push you to make a decision one way or the other. So let's have a look at the specs.
So let's look at the Xbox specs for now. We are looking at 12 teraflops of GPU, a 1 terabyte hard drive. Your memory is sitting at 16 gigs. Your resolution up to 4K at 120 Hz or 8K at 60 Hz, and it offers 4 players. PS5 gives you 10.3 teraflops GPU. It's got an 825 gigabyte hard drive. Your memory's sitting at 16 gigs. Your resolution's up to 4K at 120 Hz and 8Ks at 60 Hz and gives you 4 players as well. Now in the Nintendo Switch, it gives you 1 teraflops, 32 gig hard drive. Your memory's at 4 gigs. Your resolution is 720 undocked and 1080p docked, and this gives you up to 8 players to play at the same time.
So when you look at the specs, you can see PlayStation and Xbox surpass the Nintendo Switch by far, but does it really matter that much when it comes to playing a latest Mario game where it's at 1080? You can't really tell the difference compared to a 4K to a degree.
It depends what TV you own as well.
Yeah, that's right.
If you own a standard TV, they all look the same. So, you know, when you can't get in a decision, maybe specs for you isn't the greatest. Maybe it's in your third category that you're looking for. Well, let's look at the next category, which I think is pretty important. A lot of people want to talk about is what games are on what consoles and what's best for me and my family. So PlayStation currently has over 450 games released on the PS5. The Xbox is sitting at 329. That's on the X and S series. While the Nintendo have over 4,000 games to choose from on the Nintendo Switch. That's right, you heard it, 4,000. Now, are they all great games? Absolutely not. You have a whole lot of third parties releasing games on the Nintendo store. But what is really cool about that is that although there are 4,000 games, and you're like, what do I get? Some games can be as cheap as $3, $2, 50 cents. It's like buying an app on your phone. We've recently just bought a game on the Nintendo Switch for $1.50, and it was Boomerang Fu. If you've got a Nintendo Switch, get Boomerang Fu. This guy told me about it, and my kids are playing Boomerang Fu for $1.50, way more than they're playing Mario Kart for $80. And it's an 8-player addictive game. And so for me, the selection is entirely up to what suits your needs when it comes to gaming.
So obviously when it comes to games, obviously the quality is what some people might want to buy the system for. I can't see the Nintendo Switch playing Red Dead Redemption to the level an Xbox or a PlayStation can. So that might push you to get the Xbox and maybe the Nintendo Switch. But also when it comes to games is the exclusiveness of some games that come out on certain console that might push you to buy a console more specifically. So the Xbox obviously at the moment has Halo, and we'll be having State of Decay 3, has the Forza series, Stalker 2, and Perfect Dark that's coming out sometime this year. While the PlayStation have Death Stranding, Demon's Souls, the Gran Turismo series, and Little Big Planet. While Nintendo on the other hand have over 90 exclusive games, the Switch has exclusively every Mario game from Mario Odyssey, Mario Kart, even the Pokemon series, Splatoon, Zelda, Metroid, just to name a few.
Well, a real game changer has just taken place though with Xbox and PlayStation as Xbox has landed the rights to all the Bethesda. Damn it!
It's alright, we got it. They know what we're saying.
Bethesda.
Yeah, Bethesda.
Lols.
Don't put that in. And their games exclusively. When it comes to exclusivity. Well, Xbox has just landed a deal with Bethesda as they've now been handed over all to Xbox exclusive games. So that means all your Fallouts, all your Dooms, Elder Scroll, those games. You can't get them on PlayStation coming up, which is actually a real game changer. If you like Doom, well, you're not going to find them on the PS5 anymore. It's going straight to Xbox.
It's actually pushing even me to get an Xbox because I love Halo, but it wasn't enough to get it just for one game. But to know games like Fallout and now I can't get on the PlayStation.
Wolfenstein, Evil Within, all that.
It does push me to maybe go, well, maybe I should get an Xbox and the PS5.
Oh, come on, mate.
So the fourth category to have a look at is online services. So all of them offer an online service. So the Xbox have Xbox Live, which pretty much gives you, similar to the PlayStation, where it's just online access, maybe a couple of free games here and there, which is about $10 or $11 depending on where you're from. And obviously you can upgrade that to the Xbox Game Pass, which gives you that, and also over 100 games, even AAA games to play online for an extra fee. So that's what Xbox offer. PlayStation offer PlayStation Plus, which is similar to Xbox Live, which gives you online access to playing multiplayer games and a couple of free games a month and some discounts here and there. Obviously this talks about PlayStation Spartacus, which will compete with Game Pass, but that's another episode. Hopefully it'll be here in the link here when you want to have a look at that. And Nintendo obviously have Nintendo Online.
So like the others, they've got two different packages you can choose from. The standard $30, and that gives you to online access, multiplayer, their store. Also enables you to download and play some of the NES games and the SNES games, which is really cool. Brings you back to the good old days. Then you've got the expansion pack, which is, I'm pretty sure it's double the price, like $55, $60. And that then gives you all that plus more. It gives you access to the Nintendo 64 games, which they're always adding on. And also the Sega Mega Drive, which is really, really interesting that they've introduced that. But that's cool. So they're your three different options for your three different consoles of what your online looks like. Well, let's look at our final category, which is backwards compatibility, which pretty much means can you play your old generation games, like your old games on your current console. And for some, yes, for some others, no. So the PlayStation 5, what's great about that is all your PS4 games, pretty much most of them, you can play on your PS5, which is really, really cool. And some of the newer PS4, what they do is they bump up the graphics to make it look special on the PS5. So that's great if you own a whole bunch of PS4 games and you get a PS5, you don't lose all your games, which is really, really good.
And the Xbox One X and S lets you play all the Xbox One games and some of the Xbox 360 games,
That's
which
cool.
is a cool feature to have.
Yeah.
And they do the similar thing where they optimize some of the graphics and frame rates to make them even better to play on the Xbox One S or X. But the Nintendo Switch,
Bum, bum. There is no backwards compatibility on the Nintendo Switch, and I'll tell you why that is how the heck do you fit this on a Nintendo? Pretty much the size of it. Well, there you go. We've broken down all those consoles and hopefully giving you some information that's going to help you decide which console is right for you and your family.
if you haven't already seen our latest episode for the PlayStation Game Pass or Spartacus, have a look at that because we talk about the latest PlayStation, or the one that's coming out for the PlayStation subscription service, where it competes with the Xbox Game Pass, which might help you make a decision on which console you should get. So check it out here, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.